Welcome to the video. My name is Rednu. In this video, we are going to go over a live gameplay demo. I'm going to be editing this very little, and I'm going to kind of show you from start to finish a full run to completion. I'm going to show you what to look for your horse girl, whoever you choose to raise, how to build a good deck for them, how to enter the career scenario with a plan, and hopefully how to win. And if not win, then at least reach the URA finals. Let's go ahead and get started. This video is going to be pretty long, so just put me on your other monitor. And remember to like and sub if this helped you at all. And let me know if you guys have any questions. And we'll go ahead and proceed to skip all of these things. I assume you've read the tutorial. I assume that you've tried maybe 1 or 2 career runs. And now you're just trying to see like, hey, how can I succeed in a career run? First thing we're going to do is redeem all the things. Should have around 6,000 gems. This is a totally fresh account. You'll also have the Head Start 3-star voucher, which we will not be using for this video. Following that, we'll go ahead and do our scout. Skip to the end. We got nice nature. That might be someone who we use. But other than that, we do need to be able to roll for support cards in order to give ourselves the best chance to complete a run. So go ahead and do a 10x scout here. Nice. We happen to get a UR. Oh, wow. Well, this account would be pretty good. Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to be using this just because I kind of want to make this video very relatable. So we're probably going to ignore this. We did get a Machikane Fukukitaru, and this is a wood card. And pretty much any wood card can be very usable and will help us sort of complete the run better. Besides that, we got Yukino Bijin. This is a guts card, which is a little harder to use. So let's go ahead and scout again. No SSR this time. We did end up getting a Mihono Bourbon. This card is a very good power card for any kind of front runner, but is also just a good power card in general. Has friendship training bonus over here on her unique perk if we did max level it. It also has specialty priority, which affects the rate at which Mihono Bourbon will appear on a power training. But I want to go ahead and kind of get into the gameplay demo stuff. So we're going to skip some of the discussion here for the cards and continue to roll. Starting with the SSR. Okay, Gold City. The only thing that this card doesn't really have is race bonus in a accessible sort of level. We can only level this card up to 30 if we don't get any dupes. So that's the only thing that's kind of really lacking from this card. Probably some of the number values too of their passive support effects. But fine, we got King Halo. King Halo is a very nice speed card. Pretty much usable on a lot of people. It has speed bonus. It has initial speed as well, which is very helpful. Especially when you're just starting out, any card that has like initial stats is going to help you out with being able to clear your early races, which is arguably some of your harder ones because your Uma has pretty weak stats. Narita Taishin is another speed card, so this is pretty good. We're ending up with a lot of speed cards, which should allow us to build a pretty coherent deck. Go ahead and scout again. This time we got Hishi Amazon, which is another power card. Has good friendship bonus on a unique perk and on this passive. As well, it has race bonus in a very accessible spot. All right, so I think I have an idea of how we should build the deck. So essentially for our run, what I'm going to be doing is going in with a goal. The goal would be to get to the URA finale, hopefully win the finale, but with not really a strong expectation to, and essentially survive the run while learning as much as possible. It's important to go into any career run with some goals. As a beginning player, I imagine your goal is to learn the game, it's to survive, and it's to kind of get a feel of how the game flow works. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So let's go ahead and click the career button. We'll click next. And now we have 6 different Umas to race. This game gives you 5 Umas to start so that you can build a full PvP team. Nice Nature is one of the Umas that we rolled in the banner. If you really wanted to go for an easy win, you could always play Sakura Bakshino. Sakura Bakshino is a very straightforward Umamusume in that she only cares about short distance tracks. She runs at the front of the pack. And so she really just wants as much speed as possible. her tracks are too short for stamina to really matter too much. And because she's always at the front, she doesn't need as much power to outmaneuver other Umas, as well doesn't really need acceleration if she can always run at top velocity without anyone blocking her. But we're not going to go for Sakura Bakshi no. I've received a few comments saying, hey, I was able to clear with Sakura Bakshi no, but I just can't clear with anyone. I think the most typical runs would include Daiwa Scarlet or Vodka. And I think what we're going to do is play with Vodka. The reason why we're going to play with Vodka is because we won't be able to rely on a front-running style. Because we can't rely on a front-running style, it means that we can't put everything into speed. We're going to have to put some points into power, which Vodka is pretty good for. If I take a look at Vodka, we could take a look at her details. You can see that she has a growth rate of 20% power and 10% speed. She also has a pretty nice skill called Acceleration, becomes stronger at challenging rivals, and moderately increased velocity when positioned toward the front, with 200 meters or less remaining. This skill perfectly synergizes with her preferred style of running, which is as a late surger. A late surger typically wants to hang out in the middle of the pack, but towards the back of it, and then push a lot with its power to sort of overtake and clear during the last spurt. It might be tough to get a win with Vodka, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. Another reason why I'm considering to run Vodka is because I noticed that we did receive a lot of power cards from our rolls, and power is a stat that Vodka definitely enjoys. We're going to go ahead and select Vodka, and we're going to go ahead and select our Legacy Uma. But before we do that, we're going to do something to help us survive even better. We're going to go hit this race button. We're going to go to Team Trials, and then we're going to go to Team Race. And it doesn't matter what team you pick. What we're going to do is we're going to race them. We're going to click see results for all of them. And this will make sense in just a bit. You don't have to win this, by the way. The fact that I'm winning is pretty funny, but totally unrelated. All right. And the reason why we did this is so that we can look at other accounts and be able to follow them. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the rankings. And you'll see that we have a whole list of accounts to follow who probably have good Umas as Legacy Uma, and who also probably have good support cards in their profile. So I'll take a look at the top account. We'll click the info button. We could see that this account has a 3 Limit Break Super Creek and a Taiki Shuttle. As long as this guy is number 1, you guys should see this guy's account. Unfortunately, I cannot follow him because he's gathered too many followers. So, can't use him. Let's take a look at the next one.
One eternity later.
Alright, cool. We're just going to go ahead and settle with this one. You probably could find a better account further down the line, but we're going to go ahead and settle with this one. It has Symboli Rudolph as their star Umamusume, which is what we could use as a Legacy Uma. And it also has a 1 Limit Break Super Creek, which is perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and follow this person.
One eternity later. One eternity later.
And then we could go ahead and hit career. We'll go ahead and choose Vodka again. And what we're going to do is hit guess and click this Uma and select our new friend's Uma as a Legacy Uma. You can see here, and I would probably use these filters. You can look at the sparks. Sparks are pretty much like inheritance factors that get passed down to the trainee Umas. So we can go ahead and select this, and we can see that this Uma has 2 star of wit. That's why we get plus 12 wit. But this Uma's parents also has a lot of stars on speed stat. So how can I tell? It's because it says 42. If I confirm, we'll go ahead and hit OK, and we'll be fine to pay this amount. This is nothing, pretty much. And you want to borrow a Legacy Uma from a strong player. But yes, the reason why this Symboli Rudolph has 42 speed is because the Silent Suzuka has a 3-star blue spark, and the Ogre Cap has a 3-star blue spark. Typically speaking, you want to have a stamina 3-star blue spark, because the fewer times you can train stamina, the better. Unless you're training a long distance Uma, then you probably do train stamina quite a bit. And you probably would want speed or power. Let's go ahead and select another Legacy Uma. And with this one, we can pretty much pick whatever else. We don't want to pick Urara, because the affinity is a triangle, which is translation for bad. And out of all of these veteran Umas, I'd probably just go with Daiwa Scarlet. So we'll pick that one. and we'll hit next. Now we're on this screen and we're going to be forming our deck. You can go ahead and hit auto select if you like, and we could probably not hit this button specifically because if you're struggling, you just want to have the best cards and not necessarily prioritizing event bonus support cards. Okay. Yeah, so this isn't even a bad deck, honestly. It is much more suited for a front runner though, given all the speed cards that are here. What I would like to do instead is build my deck to prioritize more power, because Vodka is a card that would like to build more power. And so what I want to be able to take a look at are all the cards that I can borrow. I think we are going to go ahead and play it safe though, and select the Super Creek. The reason why I want to select the Super Creek is because Super Creek does have initial stamina of 27. This is with 1 limit break. And on top of that, Super Creek has a very good stamina skill in her career event, the Swinging Maestro, just in case I am low on stamina. And you definitely want to make sure you have at least 1 stamina card, at least starting out, just so that you are able to get some friendship training bonus with stamina whenever it does appear. We're not going to use our Super Creek card because, again, we're trying to be relatable. We're just going to borrow a Super Creek card. And so I'm going to go ahead and change some things around. All right, so we have a pretty good deck to start with. This is by no means an optimized deck. I'll explain all the choices in a bit, but this should help us get through and hopefully clear the URA finals. So our first card here is Machikane. We don't have access to the unique perk if we don't level it, but why I have Machikane is because we have the Wit Friendship Recovery 1. This is going to allow us to recover some energy if we manage to become friends with Machikane and we do Wit training. She also has Friendship Bonus and Mood Effect, so these are pretty decent stat stick passives. Our next card is Hishi Amazon. Hishi Amazon is our next card because we have Friendship Bonus, which is a good stat stick passive. We have Specialty Priority, which means that Hishi Amazon will appear on the power training slot more often, albeit 5 is a pretty low number. The main reason why I'm playing Hishi Amazon is for her stat stick passive of Friendship Bonus and Specialty Priority. I might even decide to level this card because leveling it gives us initial friendship gauge as well as race bonus, and this friendship bonus and race bonus as well. So she's a pretty good stat stick card. Our next card here is a friend card, and it's going to be Aoi Kiryuin. The reason why she's level 4, I think, is because of the tutorial, but Aoi is a friend card that you can eventually go on dates with when I think you reach 60 or 65 friendship with her. This is a good card because the events that Aoi gives you are often able to kind of bail you out of bad situations and increase the mood of your Umamusume drastically if you were to like fail training or run into a random event and lose a lot of mood. You can see here she has initial friendship gauge, which will allow us to become friends with her easily, much more faster. We have event recovery, so it'll increase the energy recovery from her events. We also have failure protection, so it'll decrease the probability of failure when she happens to be on a training. And it'll also reduce the energy cost. So friend cards are more or less a crutch for a new player, like if you were to ask any veteran player. But if you're having trouble clearing runs in a consistent way, then friend cards are always very useful. We don't have Tazuna, so we're going to use Aoi. Our next card here is King Halo. King Halo is a speed card. What I do really like about her is that initial speed, so I might be picking her. The next card I have here is Mejiro Ryan. This is a power card, and we are having 2 power cards here so that we have a higher chance of friendship training on the power training. And if I look at Mejiro Ryan, she has good friendship bonus, which is a stat stick passive. She also has some hints. These hints are pretty good. They affect our Uma when she is racing medium distance tracks like up tempo or medium straightaways. And finally, we have the Super Creek that we are borrowing from a friend. This one is Limit Break 1, so it's level 35 instead of level 30. It has very good stat stick passives. Friendship bonus is very good. Training effectiveness is very good. We also have Specialty Priority, so she'll land on stamina training more often. All right, so this looks like a pretty good deck. And it looks like we should be able to max our whole deck. So I will go ahead and do that. We'll level up Hishi Amazon. Then we'll level up Mejiro Ryan. And that should be all the cards that we are using. Keep in mind that if you do level up an SSR card, they do require a lot more SP than a max level SR card. So let's take another quick look at Vodka. What we can see with Vodka is that she is good at turf racing. Most Umas are good at turf racing. She is good on mile distance and medium distance and very poor on anything else. Finally, her style of running is late surging and pace chasing. Vodka can inherit pace chasing from a legacy Uma and bump this B rating to an A, but because we are focusing on power with Vodka, it's not very important, and so we'll probably just ignore that. And go ahead and make sure that you're taking a look at their skills as well. You can see that she does have updrafters, and if you take this skill, you're probably more inclined to run more mile courses. But that being said, I do think Vodka needs to run some medium distance tracks, so it is important to get some stamina as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all we have to do to kind of look at Vodka. Let's pick Vodka up. Let's use our guest. And I believe this is the one that we picked, right? Actually, I think this one is probably better because she does give us a better rating in pace. And sometimes when you do fail a race, you do want to change strategy just to see if anything changes. And sometimes it does work. So we can go ahead and pick this Uma. But definitely the more you play the game, the better sparks you have on the right, the more you're going to just lean in towards the better sparks that you do have. And we'll probably have to go over sparks and inheritance, but just in a different video. All right, let's go ahead and hit next. Then we'll hit friends. We'll choose our Super Creek friend. Our whole deck is leveled up, so we should have a pretty decent time, I think. I feel like I've prepared to make this run as smooth as possible, but who knows? Let's give it a whirl. And we'll go ahead and click Start Career. All right, so we're going to go ahead and skip this. And we're going to do this all in the interest of time. I'm going to go ahead and click the fastest setting and hit confirm. This is the inspiration spark. And we'll just let this play for a bit. Okay, so the very first thing that happened was the spark of inspiration. We went over it on the other guide. It's basically what happens when you start inheriting a bunch of stats from your legacy Uma. Everything else is pretty much just flavor. So we can go ahead and start our run here. We're going to hit training. I'm going to hit close on all of these. And we're going to take a look at each one of the trainings. Every time you start a turn, you're going to want to hit training and take a look at each and every one. You're going to want to look at any trainings with multiple Umas because your priority in the beginning is pretty much to build friendship with your entire support deck. The priority definitely is to improve your friendship with all of them at a roughly similar rate. But that, of course, and pretty much everything I say is only assuming you survive. So if you do think you're dangerously low on stamina or dangerously low on guts, you should go ahead and train them. In our case here, we do have guts training. We also have a hint that King Halo is going to give us. We also have wit over here. I never like starting with wit. The reason why is because wit training gives us energy, but with max energy, it's going to give us no energy. We're going to go ahead and pick guts. Not only do we get to build friendship with 2 Umas, but we also get a skill hint from King Halo. And this skill hint is going to improve my friendship with King Halo by another 5 points. If I train with an Uma, it increases the friendship by 7. But if a skill hint is also there, then I will get an additional 5 friendship. So we're going to go ahead and click Guts. And there you go. So let's review that really quick. So training Guts was able to train all the stats. And as well, it went ahead and corrected itself and put the friendship changes over here. So you can see here that we improved our friendship with King Halo by 7 and by 5 with the skill hint. So for a total of 12. And with Super Creek, we improve our friendship by 7. Which is very good, because Super Creek doesn't have any initial friendship gauge. But yeah, also some people were asking about how I was able to change the outfit for when I did the other tutorial. You can do so over here in the options. It says track wear in non-G1 races. So go ahead and save that. I like that just because it feels a little more immersive. Go to training. We take a look at all the trainings. Okay, nothing really great here. We could see that we pretty much have everyone in their own individual training. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritize Super Creek because she does have the least amount of friendship. Also, there is the fact that guts training just gives a lot of good stats. Not only does guts training give you guts, but guts training also improves your speed and power. Now over here, you're going to see the trainee events as extra training. Pretty much every Umamusume has an extra training event. I don't think there is a single one without it. The top option is almost always spending more energy in order to gain a little bit of stats. I personally always like to have more energy to reduce failure rate for my next training instead of getting like a small boost in stats. So I click this. I don't know if it's the optimal thing to do, but that's just something I always do. And so I'm looking at all the trainings again here. We're going to go ahead and click Wit. And that's great because we get to improve Super Creek's friendship and someone else's. We got some nice stats here from a random event. And we're going to pause over here and just take a look at the UI. We have 8 turns left until our make debut. We have very limited options at the very start, but you'll see those open up as soon as we finish our make debut. Notably, the ability to run more races. But what you can do from the very beginning is check your Umamusume's goals. So we could do that by clicking details. And this track of goals is unique to every single Umamusume. Every time that I play Vodka, this track of goals will always be the same. So if you're having trouble raising a certain horse girl, the best way to learn is by practicing and failing and just getting really acquainted with when your Umamusume wants to race and how to prepare best for it. We have early December, early March. And so what we're going to look at here is the race day, right? Junior year means the first year in an Umamusume's career. An Umamusume's career has 3 years: the junior, the classic, and the senior year. Besides that, they have the extra stage, which is when they race the URA finals. That's totally extra. And they also have this current stage, which is before the junior make debut. So this is the first year in early December. It says early December because each turn in Umamusume is half a month. So you have early month and late month. Early March, early April, late May. So it goes early December, then late December, then it goes early January, late January, early February, late February, so on and so forth. The other really important thing is the criteria, which tells you how many fans you need in order to attempt this goal, which is 1,000. Pretty easy to get, but sometimes you do have higher requirements, like when it bumps up to 25,000. So always make sure you are taking note of the required fan count and when you're comparing it to your fans. How you get fans is by running in races and winning them. We cannot run in any races right now because we are previous to our junior year. We haven't even started our career. What is really important for sure is to take note of any 2 goals that look really close to each other. So notice that it says place top 3 in Shuka Show at late October. And so what's coming after late October? It's early November, late November, early December, late December. So there's like 3 or 4 turns between these 2 races. But you'll notice that this goal says only to run in Arima Kinen. It's like saying I want to play at Wimbledon. It's like saying that you want to play at some legendary stage. To run in Arima Kinen is usually a goal for every Umamusume, but rarely do they actually have the goal of winning it. In the case of Vodka, she only wants to run in Arima Kinen, so it's not important to prepare for Arima Kinen, which is notably a long racetrack. You can see over here that it's a long racetrack, which is something that Vodka is not built for at all. But yeah, you can go ahead and inspect each one of the goals just to get a sense of what you need to race. This one's a medium track. This one's a medium track. And this one's a mile. And this one's a mile. And this one is a mile. So what I can see over here is that from Hanshin to Okasho, we have only mile tracks, which is a lot less stamina dependent. But from after the Okasho and on, we have a lot of medium tracks. And that's when we're going to want to make sure that we have a lot of stamina or the right amount of stamina in order to participate in these races and do well. We're not trying to do well in Arima Kinen, but we do need to do well at the very last track, which is in the Tennosho. which is also a very popular racetrack. All right, let's go ahead and continue here. All right, so we have 2 girls here on the stamina training, which is great. We always want to make sure that we're meeting minimum stamina thresholds, and take note of our speed. It is 172, which is great because we did level up the King Halo support card, which allows us to kind of be able to train on our weaker stats and make sure that we're able to be flexible in our decisions. So we're going to go ahead and click stamina and improve our friendship with Machikane and King Halo. Kiryuin is now available as a training partner. Our mood went up. So another thing you'll notice here is mood. Mood is pretty simple. Having it at great means you get better training results and you increase your attributes. And the way you can increase mood is by clicking recreation. It's usually not worth going on recreation just to increase the mood, exactly for the reason that we saw before. Sometimes your Umamusume will go over planned events that will increase the mood on its own. Additionally, the reason why we picked cards like Aoi Kiryuin is because once we become closer friends with her, she'll give us events that help improve mood by 2 times. So right now, it's not good to improve our mood, even though we will get training results improvement. The thing about the early stage right now is that this 20% bonus doesn't really have that much of an effect with these low-level training sessions and the fact that we don't have any friendships built with our Umas. The fact that it increases training results by 20% does not increase the amount of friendship that you gain from those trainings. So having a really high mood doesn't really matter in the very start. And what matters more importantly than going on recreation or improving our mood is to build friendships with as many Umamusume as possible. So we're going to go ahead and select Wit here. Not only is there 3 Umas, 2 of them are on the lower end of the friendship. That's also going to recover some of our energy, which is great. That allows us to basically go into the next training, if it's not Wit training, with pretty much 0 failure rate. We take a look at all our trainings here. We have stamina, which is great. Now, if you're playing on your phone, you're not able to really look up a guide on the spot. And honestly, you don't need to. In Umamusume, the idea of the game is that you're going to continue to raise the same horse very often. Because what you want from these horse girls, at least from the start of the game, is to improve or get a legacy Uma with 3 stars of these sparks over here. You can see our friend that they have a 2-star Wit Uma, and the parents have 3-star sparks in stats, which is very highly desirable. In order to get these sparks with high star ratings, you need to be able to reach the end consistently and be able to participate in more races such that it's easier to raise Umas with these high star rating sparks. There's a lot into sparks, inheritance, and farming for these sparks that is way too much to get into in this video. The long and short of it is that you're going to be raising the same Uma, maybe not consecutively, but you are going to be raising your sort of stable of different horse girls quite a bit. And so you'll develop a familiarity with these events. You'll develop a familiarity with these answers and what outcomes come from these answers. Typically speaking, the top option is usually a very safe option. That's something like maybe speed or stamina, while the bottom option is usually something a little off or weird, which is like guts or wits, sometimes stamina too. So you can also just take a look at like the conversation, or you can take a look at the answer and try and derive some sort of hint or clue as to what the outcome would be from that. But my thinking here on this particular event is that I already have pretty good stats, right? I already have pretty good stats on my preferred stats like speed or power. And because the top option usually goes towards preferred stats, the bottom option is usually going to touch my weaker stats and allow me to be a little more well-balanced and not lacking in any one stat. If you go into a race and you're lacking the necessary stamina threshold, whatever that might be, that number is not concrete. It's just something you kind of have to develop the feel for. But if you're not meeting a certain stamina threshold or a certain guts threshold, then your Umamusume is going to dramatically underperform. So if I look at my Uma, I see like, okay, I have really good speed. I have really good power. The only things I'm worried about is not meeting the minimum thresholds for stamina and guts. I don't know what that number is, but I can tell that, at least comparatively to my other stats, that these two stats are very low. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the bottom option in the hopes that it would raise one of those stats. There are certain events where the bottom option is just flat out bad, and it's just going to take a lot of time playing, and it's going to take a lot of trial and error to kind of get a good sense of what those events are. And hopefully we run into some of these events in this playthrough. So I'm going to click the bottom option, and we got 30 energy and I think 10 skill points. I'm not too sure, which is great. That's good. All right, so again, we're going to take a look at all the training, and it looks like we have 3 Umas in the wit training, so we go ahead and select that. We already have 60 friendship with King Halo, which is very good. It's not like I like romance. Okay, it'd be better to pace yourself. You'll exhaust yourself trying to binge it. I think this top option probably talks about stamina because it says pacing, so who knows? So let's try and pick that one. No, okay, it was just a hint. That's just how the game goes. You're going to have to learn by trial and error what these decisions actually do for your Umamusume. So, training. We pick a different training. Wow, okay, we have 5 training partners for stamina. Now, notably, you will see that there is a weird training partner among these 5, and that is Director Akikawa. Director Akikawa is a training partner exclusive to the URA finale scenario that we're playing right now. It's also the only scenario available at the time of making this video. And Director Akikawa is not nearly as important to build friendships with as like the other Umas. The other Umas, you want to at least reach 80 when the bar turns orange in order to get friendship training. Director Akikawa doesn't have friendship training, but there is an event later in this URA finale scenario that levels up your signature skill. The signature skill I'm talking about is this one, the rainbow skill. And in order to get that level up, you need to have at least 60 friendship gauge, which is the 3rd bar, in order to get that level up. So right now, developing our friendship with Akikawa is pretty important because she's just become our friend. So she's just available now to be a training partner. And so we're going to try and develop that friendship to 60 at least in time for that event where our signature skill is going to receive a level up. So this is a no-brainer here, though. I mean, there's 5 different training partners, and that's just going to help us build our friendship so much better. Why stop there? Push yourself to the limit. Congrats on hitting your goal. This option sounds like it's going to reduce my energy in exchange for some stat. This one sounds like we're probably going to gain energy or just a stat. So I'm going to pick the bottom one. The bottom one gave me max energy, which is okay. Max energy sounds really good, but if you never reach the top of this, which you're not always going to reach the max, it doesn't really do anything. All right, let's continue. We got 3 turns left. We're going to, out of all these, I am going to pick stamina here with Director Akikawa. All right, so let's take a look at our training again. We always take a look at training, even if it's a failure rate. So this one has 41%. Normally, I would say, sure, I'm winning a 50-50, right? Like, it's better than a 50-50. But I am a little concerned because I don't want to fail in my first recording of this. So I'm going to go ahead and click the rest button here and just play it pretty conservatively. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our training. This is our last turn before the race. Looks like we have an opportunity to build like 12 friendship with King Halo. Remember, 5 plus 7 is 12. If I look at the other ones here, Hishi Amazon is still pretty low, so I'll take this option to build friendship with 2 Umas. I have no idea. I'm going to pick the top option. Maybe it gets me some speed, which you might need for the early race. So, 10 energy. That's pretty good. Anyway, let's take a look at this screen here. This is the race day screen. You have 2 options, skill or race. If you click race, it doesn't start the race. So don't worry about that. It allows you to take a look at the race before starting it. So take a look here. You have a turf race, which is pretty much always going to be the case if you're playing a regular Uma. And you also have a mile track. This is great for your Uma or Vodka because she excels at mile and she's a turf racer. Let's take a look at the predictions. This is the really important button here. It allows Tazuna to give her evaluation on how well we will do. It's going to allow us to make a decision to try and make this race easier if we need it to be. So let's click this. And we can see that we're lacking a little bit of stamina. You always want to see like double circles. And we're lacking a little bit of guts as well. So this is going to give me some indicator that I need to be training stamina and guts after this race at the very least, because I'm falling behind on target goals. You always want to see double circles. So, but that being said, Tazuna says that we look like a top contender, and I do believe her. If I take a look at the other stuff, we are racing in summertime. This is relevant for certain skills that say like, oh, increase your performance during summertime. We're racing in cloudy weather, and similar to like the summertime thing, there are skills that improve your performance in cloudy weather, and we're racing on a firm track. We also have good mood, which is not ideal. You typically want to be in a great mood because you have a 4% increase in your attributes as opposed to 2, but you can't choose it all, right? So I want to make sure that I win this make debut. There is absolutely no shame in going back and hitting the skills button here and just learning a skill. You're going to hear a lot of veteran players say that you don't even want to learn a skill until the very end. That doesn't apply when you're just learning the game and you can barely complete a run, okay? So do whatever it takes. Learn a skill before the race, especially if you think you're going to have a hard time. Or in the case of like a make debut, you absolutely need to win the race. Otherwise, you're going to delay yourself in the sense that I have to win another race before my next goal starts. So let me take a look at all these. And remember how I said that we were lacking in stamina and in guts? What I'm going to do then is take a look at all my abilities and see that we do have stamina abilities. Stamina abilities are these blue abilities. You can tell by just reading the description. Slightly recover endurance on a straight. Slightly recover endurance when passed by another runner mid-race. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. This one does have a discount, but there might be more discounts later, I think. I think you get this from Megid Orion. But either way, I am going to pick this one because this one has a condition. You can tell that it says, when passed by another runner mid-race, what happens if I'm not passed by another runner mid-race? Or what happens if it just decides to not proc? Over here, there's almost no activation condition. Anytime I'm running on a straight, the game is going to ask, hey, does this skill want to activate? And roll a dice and see if I am able to activate it. So I'm going to pick this one because there's absolutely no condition. Even though it's pretty likely that I'll be passed by another runner, especially for Vodka, she does have a late strategy. Even if that may be the case, I still would rather pick an ability that has no conditions. So I'm going to go ahead and click confirm. Now, that is pretty overkill, I will admit. I don't think I'll have problems with the make debut, but I'm looking at this from a perspective of a new player who is like, maybe I'm not going to win the next race. And if that's the case, the answer is to learn a skill. So let's go ahead and hit the race button and click race. Now we can see that everything looks really good. We are the #1 favorite. Each of the 3 judges think we are a shoo-in to win the race. We are the strongest contender in their eyes. We could take a look at our skills here. We could take a look at the other runners. You can tell all their stats are very, very poor. So I do think we should be able to win this pretty easily. We could change our strategy, but our strategy should be the late strategy, the late Surger strategy. And this will match with the way we built Vodka, or at least built her support deck, in focusing on power. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one, and we're going to see how she does. So hopefully we don't end up with a first loss. All right, so in the interest of time, we're going to be skipping a lot of these races. I will let this one play and kind of fast forward just to kind of give you a sense and idea of what's going on. You see over here that our stamina ability did kick in, which is great, right? That's typically what we want. This effect that rushed, I don't know exactly what it's called in English, but in Japanese it's called a kakari, or I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right. But it's just like a little demerit. It's not going to matter too much all the time. There are some skills that mitigate that, but we should be good for this run. We see over here that since the middle of the run, Vodka has been passing, and now we're just totally sprinting towards the end, which is great. That's typically her strat. Her strat is to start overtaking towards the third quarter or middle part of the race and just surge with a lot of power at the last spurt. So we got first, which is great and pretty expected as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit next here. This is race bonus, or the race stats that you get from completing the race. Whenever you have a card that has race bonus, that is what it's going to give it a bonus to. In Umamusume, you can have 6 support cards, and most of them have a maximum of 15% race bonus that they could give. I'm sorry, not most of them, but like if there is a max race bonus any one single card can give, it's pretty much always up to 15%. So the cap of that is like 90%. Race bonus isn't very important right now, but when the make a new track scenario comes out and we are incentivized to participate in more races by that scenario, then race bonus becomes really important. All right, so we cleared our debut, and now we have the rest of our goals here. And hopefully we are able to achieve them and win the URA finals. We can take a look at all of our training. We also need 82 fans, so we did not meet the fan criteria. This is important. This means that we are going to have to run a race before these 10 turns are up, which is not too bad. It just means we need to win any race. We could go ahead. This is not anything. This doesn't do anything. This only gives you like a recommended race. This one recommends for fans. This one recommends for fame. I don't really need a recommendation. But if you were new, I would just click this because typically you're just racing in order to meet some sort of fan criteria. So we will go ahead and click this, but there are no races to compete in here. What you can do is look ahead. And what you can also do is schedule a race. So maybe I don't want to run in that or that. Maybe I want to run in like a G1 or something, right? A G1 race. Or maybe I want to run on a G3 race, right? I can go ahead and click schedule. And you'll notice it says in 12 turns. So in 12 turns, if I start to train, the game will pause me and say, hey, didn't you say you want to race this track? It's happening right now. Maybe you want to race it. And I can go ahead and click cancel if I don't want to race it at that time. Or I could decide to race it. This one gives you 3,500 fans, which is pretty good. But it's not before our goal. It's in 12 turns, not in 10. So scheduling this race doesn't really do us anything right now. Scheduling doesn't do anything to begin with. But it does help us, or it does help remind you to run certain races. And the more you play this game, you are going to want to do these extra races, especially like high grade ones. But again, that's for a totally separate video. So right here, we could take a look at this. I'll just tell it to schedule this one race just to sort of demonstrate what it looks like because it's in one turn. It's in the very next turn. I am going to take a look at all these trainings here. And okay, yes, we're going to go ahead and hit the wit training because Super Creek is lacking in friendship. We also get to build friendship with Akikawa, which is fine. All right. I don't really know what Etsuko does. I never knew what Etsuko did, and I still don't know. So now you'll notice that it says scheduled race. So if I click that, it'll bring me to that race. But I can go ahead and just show you, hey, I don't see this button. I'm blind. I'm going to click training. And it says, hey, you scheduled this race. Did you not want to race it? And now I'm like, oh, okay, well, actually, I do want to race it. So we can go ahead and click the race button here. We can take a look at predictions before going to the race screen. So you can see predictions for this one. You could also see predictions for this one. And you'll notice that this one's not nearly as good because we don't have the speed in order to run a sprint track. And also, Vodka herself is not good at sprint tracks. So she's suffering a huge stat demerit by if she were to run this race. But yeah, there's no other race here. So we'll just go ahead and think about racing this. We're not going to click race here. We're going to go back actually. And we're going to take a look at the training. And we're going to just cancel the scheduled race. I'm already reminded I can go back if I want to. I want to make sure that I'm checking all the training. If there was a training with like 4 or 5 Uma, I would just be like, no, I need to stop that race and I just need to do that. This one's 2 Umas and Director Akikawa. I can skip this training and instead just focus on this race. So the predictions look alright, but and it's an early race, so I think there's a high chance I win this. So we're just going to go ahead and hit the race button here. In order to meet our fan criteria, remember we need 82 fans. So we don't have to win this race. I hope we do, because it should be an easy one, but we don't actually have to win this race. This race is purely to gain fans, and as long as you place within, I think, the top 5, maybe the top 3, you should be able to get 82 fans. So we're going to skip that and just skip towards the end. Let's see if our Vodka does happen to win. It doesn't look like... Oh, nope. Ooh, yeah. She did not win, but she got second place, which is fine. It's totally fine to get second place because, as you'll see, we will still get fans. We got 893 fans. So, no problem. That was our total goal. We didn't need to win the race. So, we'll click next, and we're fine here. Now, over here, these events are pretty predictable too. They follow when you win or lose an optional race. Typically, the bottom option, I think, is a risky option, and the top option is like a safe and predictable outcome. So, I think we have some energy, so I'll click the risky option. It's not going to injure Vodka or anything, but it might take more energy than the top option would. So let's go ahead and give this one a try. 10 energy for some stat and some skill points is very good. I really like that. Okay, so over here, notice this is a support card event. So this is important to note because every time you run the support card in your deck, you are more likely to get this event, right? And this is the second event in this chain. So it is very important to pay attention to these support card events because so long as you run them in that deck, when you run this card and you have these events, try and remember the choices and the outcomes for each of these in order to make sure that you're making the right choice for your given situation whenever you come across this event again. Guidance and friends. I don't know what it is. Maybe you should go for a run to clear mind. That sounds like it uses stamina or uses energy rather, so I don't think I want to do that. I'll click the top option. Skill points, nice. And we got some friendship rating. Take a look at all the training here, and I think I will go with the guts just because I do want to bring Super Creek up to par. Alright, our guts training leveled up, which is whatever. Be strategic, stay in sky. So, notably, sometimes you will get support card events that are just not part of your support card deck. But these are very rare, so it's not really important to memorize these, especially if you don't even have the card. Again, we're just going to go with the top option and be safe. Oh, we got plus 10 energy. That's nice. Okay. Now, let's take a look over here. Alright, we could do this or do that. I can use some energy, and this one's lower than these two combined, so we'll go ahead and click the wit training. And you'll notice that I'm able to train in a lot of things other than speed. And the reason why, again, is because we were able to find this Umamusume as our legacy Uma from a friend, and their parents are passing down some speed sparks. So over here, Silent Susuka and Oguri Cap, they gave us a huge initial boost to speed. And on top of that, we also leveled up this card, which gave us an initial speed bonus. Alright, so this one, Maximum Spirituality, I don't know, but we're just going to click the top one and hope it's good. Okay, very good. We'll look at the different trainings, and I think we will go with speed. Speed is our preferred training. We are going to want to level this up. So there's that, and on top of that, Super Creek needs some friendship as well. So we'll do that. And it's all just weighing those type of decisions to see exactly what we need, right? Now look over here, it does say awkward honesty. This is a decision that we ran into before. This might be a decision that could leave our Umamusume as overweight, or I think in the official translation it's called slow metabolism, which is a negative condition. I don't know if it is, but I guess we're going to find out. Typically those events that involve eating, the bottom option has a chance to give you a lot of energy, but it also has a chance to overstuff your Uma. I don't know if that's relevant to this event, but trust me when I say there are events that talk about eating, and the last thing you want to do is overeat. So, but we'll see. Let's see if this is that type of event or if we get lucky again. Who knows? Ooh, yeah. Okay. Well, that was really bad. So this is a very interesting run already. We got hit with a condition. So if I go to full stats over here, condition, slow metabolism. I can go ahead and click this here. It says she's starting to put on some weight. Cannot gain speed from training. This is a really bad condition, but it goes away. Okay. How this condition can go away is by training. And typically what I would train is just not a speed training, right? So, it's a pretty bad one, but it should be able to go away with some training. We don't have to actually go to the infirmary. And how you know this is, how I know this, I'm sorry, is literally just from experience. So don't worry if you don't know that. Just try and be aware of what's happening and what actions you're doing. And you should be able to come into these type of conclusions yourself. Unfortunately, we cannot do speed training here. Or, I mean, we can, and we can build friendship. But it's a total waste. So I don't know if wit training actually gets rid of slow metabolism. I would think not. I'm going to go ahead and hit the stamina and build some friendship with Kiryuin and Hishi Amazon. Hopefully we got rid of the condition. It doesn't seem like it. This is really bad because I do want to do those trainings here. But I think over here we'll just go with Director Akikawa. So this is a Super Creek event. If you have a Super Creek card, you probably want to be familiar with this. We can get her a drink. I think that would actually increase energy. Yeah, there you go. For whatever reason, your Uma gets whatever we tell that Uma to do, so it just happens. I have no idea why. All right. I think for this one, now we see that our friendship is pretty good and evened out between all our Umamusume, which is very nice. I think I will still go ahead and hit this double here. Unfortunately, we got an 11% failure, so that's really bad. And this could potentially be disastrous to a run. Not only do we already have a bad condition, but this event, because you failed a training, you're in the infirmary, it could give us another bad condition. So, let's see what this is. Okay, cool. We got lucky there. We only suffered a mood down, which is not bad at all. And over here, 8% failure rate is totally within my acceptable range. We'll do that. And hopefully we lose the slow metabolism. It doesn't look like it. This is a very wacky event. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens like often enough that you always remember it. All these choices are a little weird. Let me take a look here. I'm just going to go ahead and provide you a reference because this event comes up often enough that you want to remember what it does. And this is the acupuncture event. So option 1 is you either gain 20 stats or you suffer 2 mood and lower 15 stats and you get a really bad status called insomnia. Option 2 is you get a corner recovery skill and a straightaway recovery skill, so some stamina skills, or you take away 20 energy and -2 mood. Option 3 is you improve energy or max energy by 12. You get 40 energy and you also heal all negative status effects. However, it also has a chance to roll badly and instead take away 20 energy, lower your mood by 2, and give you a bad status, which is bad practice. Bad practice is something really bad because it increases your training failure rate by 2%. So option 3 is not that great unless you had like 2 negative status ailments. We only have 1, so I don't think I'm going to pick this. Option 4 is either you get 20 energy, 1 mood, and the charming status. Charming status is good because it allows you to build friendship with your support deck faster. However, my friendship is already built pretty well with pretty much all my support deck, so it's not as attractive to me because it does have an option to roll badly in that it'll take away 10 or 20 energy, lower my mood by 1, and randomly it could or could not give me a bad practice status. This is probably like the best option for early in the game if you're having trouble building friendship. Also because the bad effects is not as bad. I don't think I can afford to get hit by a -2 mood. So we could take a look at the last option, which is the safest one, and it's just to give you plus 10 energy. We could do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because I really don't want to re-record this. So we'll pick that, and we will decline her offer to acupuncture us. And now we have 1 turn left until our race. Now again, energy does not matter going into a race, so don't worry too much about that. None of the trainings here are that great. We have slow metabolism, so I don't really like this. I'm going to go ahead and hit the infirmary. I don't remember if you get energy or not, but I kind of really don't want slow metabolism, so I'm tired of it. We'll go ahead and hit the infirmary. Do not show again. Yeah, you do get some energy, so that's good. All right, we got 10 speed as well. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the race. We're going to take a look at the prediction. It's a turf mile. It is a G1, so it's a high grade race. So we're going to fight a lot of tough Umas with it. So let's see over here. Looks like our guts is kind of lacking. And that tells me that I need to be training in a lot of my other stats that are not speed. So it's telling me you're good on speed. Start focusing on other stuff for your upcoming races because it's only going to be downhill from here. All these stats are going to have higher and higher requirements. So if I'm already really good on speed, I really need to focus up and start training these other stats. Anyway, let's go ahead and hit race. I think we should be fine. Yeah, we are the #1 favorite, but this is a little spooky in that we only have a circle and not a double circle for the first judge. Don't know what that guy's problem is, but I guess we'll find out. Let's click the race button, and I believe we need to hit top 3. I'm not too sure. It should be relatively safe though. We do have clocks. In every Umamusume run, you have 3 attempts at retries by consuming a clock. And when you start this game, I think they give you like 70 or 80 clocks. So please feel free to use them. So we'll go ahead and click the skip button there and see Vodka needs to squeeze in between those two quickly or we're in for a bad time. Okay. Yeah, her skill activates really late, but this is top 5. Oh gosh, that was really poor. Yeah, well, it didn't end our run, so hey, that's totally fine. We can go ahead and take it, but we do have very little fans that we gained, and it's very likely that we are gonna have to make up for that in races before our next goal. So not very good there, but you know, it happens, especially like for a fresh account that is really weak in their cards. So all right, so if I take a look over here, I do have a wit training, and that would level up Megid Ryan into the 80% territory, which is great. But I also have this training which could level up both of these and start leveling up Aloe, which will help me salvage my run if I need it. So we'll go ahead and do that. And it looks like King Halo was able to become friends, but Hishi Amazon needs 1 more. New Year's resolutions is a predictable event, or rather happens every time. We're starting the new year, and so we need a resolution, and these 3 choices are always the same. So I don't know what they are exactly, but make sure you take note of them. The first one I think is a stat. The second one, if you read it, it just says spend the break on some wheels. I think they're talking about like taking a break. This one doesn't sound like something that gives me energy. I want things that give me energy, so I'm gonna click that one. Okay, cool. So she took a break essentially. Now let me take a look at all these. I think between these 2, it's a no-brainer. I should go with stamina so I can become friends with Mejiro. But everything here, I'm gonna go ahead and click the stamina because again, we need to build stamina. We need to build up our stats other than speed. And especially Tulip Show. Tulip Show is a mild track, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But that's fine, because we performed super poorly in Hanshin, which was also a mild track. So, thankfully, we don't need to race anymore for fans. It looks like whatever requirement this had, it was pretty low. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the training. I think we are going to skip this and instead just finish our friendship with Hishi Amazon, and we should be friends with everyone except Aoi. But that's okay, because friend cards don't need to be at 80%. They could be, I think, at like 60, 65 in order to be able to start taking them out on dates. So we're going to go ahead and hit Guts here. And now we should be friends with everyone. And it's only a matter of, do they hit the right training? Only Megiddo Ryan happened to. But that's why it's very important to be friends with pretty much your entire deck. Because you want to be able to have as many options as possible for rainbow training. Or if you're specializing your deck, then you want to have a high chance of hitting rainbow training on your specialized, on your preferred training. So these have pretty high failure rates, and the wit training isn't very good. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a rest here. And now we definitely want to make sure that we are in a great mood, but I'm thinking, in my experience, I do think that we'll probably hit an event soon that will improve our mood, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we'll check all the trainings, and we'll go ahead and click power here, so that we could get a skill hint from King Halo. But here is where, because we have friends with all the horse girls, this is where we're going to want to start focusing on a couple trainings over just like becoming friends or doing other trainings. That said, if you recall from our performance in the race before, we were lacking in pretty much every stat other than speed. So we're going to be trying to focus on building those other stats. This one says extra training. And in this particular case, I almost never pick this, but because we have a race coming up, I'm just going to go ahead and pick it. So we're going to pick that -5 energy for +5 power, which is totally fine. And now let's take a look at the race. We have good stamina and great speed, and we are lacking in power, guts, and wit, but not by too much. I think last time we failed the race with like 3 circles, so I am a little scared. And again, we're new players here, right? We don't want to fail. So we're going to pick a skill, and we're going to try and make sure to win this one. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to pick Nimble Navigator. Slightly increase maneuverability when the way ahead is blocked in the last spurt. The reason why I'm going to do that is because last time we failed because we got blocked. And also, this maneuverability is alike to power, or rather, it's what power affects. And if Tazuna is saying that we have low power, or not double circles on power, then I'm more inclined to pick a power skill, or a skill that matches with power, right? Or compensates for my lack of it anyway. So that one looks good. Slick Surge also looks pretty good too. This one actually has very little conditions, but is very expensive. Yeah, I do like the 135. So I think we are going to pick that. We did fail from this anyway, so we are going to pick that. And I think one skill should be enough, but I guess we'll find out. So let's hit the race button. We are the #1 favorite, which is great. We're going to hit the race button, and then we are going to skip to the end and watch the end bit, which is coming right up. There you go. All right. And so we're going to skip there. Uh-oh. It looks like we're kind of boxed out. This is the last spurt coming up. She's picking up velocity. And now, yep, she's starting to move up. Hopefully her skill, there you go. All right. Okay. This looks kind of tough. I don't think we're going to get top 2, but I think we got top 3. Which is okay. It's worse than I thought. But I think we are going to have to build a lot of skills. Yeah, 3rd. But it's within our goal, so not too bad. This is a pretty bad start, though. Bad performance in races mean bad race bonuses. So that is pretty bad. But now we have the Oka show, which is the next race. And this is really bad. This is a really bad scenario. This is a really bad scenario because we just raced last turn. We're going to race now in order to meet the fan threshold. And then we're going to run into a race that we're also going to be performing badly in, because running 3 races in a row will penalize your performance. But it's the only thing we can do. So take a look at the predictions. Okay. We're going to learn the skill because, I mean, we absolutely need to win, right? This is another power problem, so we'll pick the Slick Surge here and just hope and pray we're able to, well, this one doesn't really matter. Hopefully we're able to get 52 fans, but that should be likely. What I'm really hoping is that for the next race, we're not penalized too harshly. So, all right, we're gonna hit the skip. And that looks like good placement for where we are, and it looks like we are pushing ahead really fast. That said, it looks like we're being blocked, so this one's a little tough. Looks like we're squeezing through though. Nice. Okay, hell yeah. Wow. Just barely squeezes through. Very cool. All right. That is a win for Vodka, our first win in a while. But that is not the problem. The problem certainly is in the next upcoming race. So, okay, cool. We got an inspiration. This is not random, by the way. It happens every time on that whatever month it is. But hopefully this gives us the stats we need in order to win the next race. It does give us a lot of speed, which is not what we need, but hopefully we're fine. I'm probably going to take one of these green hints. But I'm going to take a look here. I mean, it does not like I have a choice. Tazuna is saying that you can't run 3 races in a row without being penalized. And yeah, we're going to be penalized. Guts, power, and wit. It's a firm track. It's springtime and it's very sunny. So we're going to go with firm conditions and hope and pray that this is not the end of our run. We still have 3 clocks. So hopefully we're fine. Let's go ahead and hit the race button here. We are the number 2 favorite. Who is the number 1? That's Narita Bryan. Oof. But Narita Bryan is running a mile track, which she isn't very good at. So hopefully we can do fine. Hopefully. Looks like we have better stats too. So let's see if we can do it. All right, hit the race button. We skip, and we skip here. How are we looking? It looks like we are starting to pass, but it looks like we are boxed in. We're being blocked by Sakura Bakshino, but we have the ability. Oh, nice. I think we got second there, if I'm not mistaken. Nice. Hell yeah. Oh my. We totally performed better than I thought we would. So, hell yeah. It was that inspiration for sure that saved us. Unfortunately, like, she's a little sad, but it's okay. We just needed a place in top 5. Now we really need to focus up and train our weaker stats. That said, let's see over here. And remember, training is fine before races. What's not fine is running 3 races in a row. None of these are insane, so I am going to race. Or, I'm sorry, not race. I'm going to rest. I'm going to do the opposite of racing. Over here, I remember our wit was pretty bad too. So I think we're just going to go with wit and gain some energy. You can see that energy recovery bonus kicking in there. Nice, we got Swinging Maestro. So that is a gold stamina skill that we'll probably take once we start running in more... Oh, well, this is actually the medium track. Hopefully we're okay. Take a look at the predictions. It's not looking too good, but we only need a place in top 5, so hopefully we're fine. The next race is a little ways from then, like 5 months. So that's at least like 9 or 10 turns. So hopefully we get a bit of a breather there. But hopefully we don't fail here. We still have 3 clocks. So let's see how we do. We are number 1 favorite, so that's very good. Let's go ahead and hope for the best. We'll hit the skip button. We'll hit the skip again. And by the way, this is not how I normally play. I usually do like to watch the races. But in the interest of saving time and not taking up too much time in the video, we are doing this. I don't think we're getting top 5. I think we got 6. That's not very good. Oh, okay, we got 5th. I think we only beat her by like a head. Yeah, we only beat Winning Ticket by a head. But hey, winners win, I guess. So we'll click next here. And we are totally fine. We are surviving. And now we have like 9 months, or I'm sorry, 9 turns to go. Now, that event is very sort of noteworthy, right? You'll notice that you had an event with Tazuna, which is not like an event that had any outcome, but it says over here in the logs, summer plans. This means that in 2 turns, you will go to summer camp. And summer camp, I talked about it before, but it's our chance to sort of be able to improve our weaker stats. So that is good. That is definitely good. That is definitely something we need. We don't need energy from wit training, even though it's a friendship. We don't need any more wit. What we do need are better stats. So I am going to go ahead and train here. We're going to get some guts. You want to be at 300 guts at the very least by the end of the run. So it doesn't hurt to start building it up now. So let's take a look. Stamina is going to be great. Stamina is exactly what we need. And summer camp starts in July. So I am kind of tempted to pick this because we are probably going to get better training at the summer camp, but it's not guaranteed. I think we take this. We take this, and then we'll probably do 1 rest in the summer camp. Summer camp has 4 turns, so it's very likely you are going to rest in at least one of them. And it definitely looks like we're going to rest in one of them because I'm going to pick stamina here. And you want to pick your weaker stats, okay? Even if it's not friendship training, you want to pick your weaker stats here because your weaker stats are usually the things that are stopping you from performing at your best. So we have very low energy and very high failure rates. We are going to take a full rest here. This is rest and recreation, so it does improve mood, but our mood is at max. So we're going to take the 50. We're going to take a look here. We are lacking in power, which is strange, but we should be able to build that. That's pretty good. We could also just opt to go for guts as well. Because summer camp has level 5 training, we want to make sure that we are able to touch up on our weaker stats, and when we come out of training or come out of summer camp, we can rely on our friendship deck. Our deck that has more power trainings, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with guts here. Just because we've historically been super low on guts. Castella eating contest. Usually the risky eating option is not a top option, so let's pick the top one. Okay, we got some power. All right, and for this one, we are going to risk it and take the 22. Oh, no, that's bad. The top one's usually always safer. And thankfully we didn't suffer anything crazy. But that's not good. We have very poor training in the stats that we want to train, which is kind of spooky. I do want to say though that it is a pretty natural consequence, and it's why being able to inherit stats like stamina is a lot more desirable, because then we can actually train speed and level it up. We still need more. It's not very good. None of these are very good. This is gonna help us get some friendship with Aoi, which is pretty low. And right at this point, this run is not looking too good. I'm just saying it right now. This run is not looking too good right now. I am probably gonna learn a skill here. So let's take a look at the race. Yeah, we are low on guts, we are low on wit, and we're low on everything that's not speed. We are running a medium track, so stamina is important. And this skill, corner recovery, there's not really an indicator, but you'll get a feel for it. A gold skill is usually like an upgraded version of whatever skill it is above. So this, even if I had 323, I can't just learn this. I actually have to learn this first. And you'll notice that the amount of points needed to learn this decreased because this contributes to that. Now, if it doesn't decrease, then don't assume like the gold skill depends on the bottom skill. It's only in this case that it does. So, and you can check by just clicking the green button. So hopefully we're okay. Hopefully we're okay. We're definitely going to learn that skill. The maestro, if we manage to survive this run. We still have our clocks. So every race is just a reminder we still have our clocks. So hopefully we're fine. Mood becomes not so important when we have clocks because we just need to make sure that we win. And it looks like, ooh, okay. All right. It looks good. Hell yeah, okay. Look, Tazuna is right a lot of the times, but not all the time. And sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you just get lucky. So good job, Vodka, Finally, we get a performance. We haven't had a concert in a while. That's only given to the first place winner, I'm pretty sure. But we are going to skip it because we're trying to make a video here. So we'll go next. Alright, so we survived amazingly. Now, you'll notice here, our next goal is to run in Arima Kinen. Arima Kinen is a legendary racetrack that pretty much every horse girl wants to run in. But notice that this goal doesn't have any placement requirements. So we don't care about preparing for this too much. We only care about preparing for the upcoming races, which is the Victoria Mile, the Yasuda Kinen, and the Tennosho, which are mile track, and I think this is a medium. So we still have a good mix of tracks that we need to do. All right, so let's take a look here. We got 3 turns left. Let's look at all our training. Our training sort of proficiencies are all over the place, which is not a good sign, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to survive, right? So I don't think I'm going to race. I think we just need to focus on building our stats and building our trainings. So I think we are going to build power here, and in only to just level up the training. And over here we got another power. So we got the friendship training. We could get another one, but that's 54% failure, and we have had really bad luck, so I'm not about to risk it. We're just going to rest, and we're going to go into the other race. We got 77 skill points. This is a long race, and again, we don't need to clear it, so we're just going to run it. I don't even care about the predictions. We are certainly going to fail and lose. So you'll see how badly we do once I skip to the end. And over here, we skip. Yeah, we're at the way bottom. There's no way we beat one horse girl. Yeah, some horse girls just really want to run in the Arima Kinen. That's about it. There's nothing else to it. So we're going to be able to skip this. Alright, and this is a New Year's Shrine visit. This is another event that happens. Notice it's early January for the senior year, so we're just starting our senior year. This happens all the time, so make sure that you pay attention to these choices the more times you raise this horse girl, and just know what it does. Looks like over here, and I'm pretty sure for New Year's Shrine visit, I think it's the same for everyone. I think this one gives energy, which is what I want, so there you go. Alright, so for this one here, I mean, we have all our energy, so we got to do some training. We'll do a friendship training. I do want to improve my mood, but it looks like we got that over here, maybe? No, that's just a little carrot. I don't know what this one is, but we'll do the top one. Okay, that's fine. Alright, and for this one, we have 2 Umas in power, so we'll take that. And we'll hopefully improve the training soon. Now we have stamina, and we have wit. So we'll take the stamina, because stamina is always something we kind of need. Over here, I don't have a rainbow training on power, so I'm going to take the rainbow training on wit. If only just to give myself more energy, so that hopefully I hit a rainbow training next round. Alright. Take a look here. There we go. We got power training, and we have 0% failure rate because we took some of that energy from before. Now we've leveled up the training. That's totally what we want to be able to do. I could level up guts, but look that I'm only improving it by 11, whereas with stamina, I'm improving it by 7. So I might as well just do stamina. Alright, we got inspiration. That's great. And so our speed is mostly going to come from inspiration. You'll notice that we haven't done a lot of speed training. And that's because we have the Legacy Uma for Simboli Rudolph. And so for every run, especially if you're switching around Legacy Umas, you're going to have to kind of adapt on the fly. And have that sort of mindset that not every plan, or rather, the different factors that affect your plan, right? Because I get and inherit plenty of speed, I don't have to focus on building speed as much. So that's important to note. We have 60% failure here. It's unfortunate, but we are going to have to skip it. I'm definitely not comfortable doing 60% failure. But if I were trying to really push and make a very good Umamusume, I would probably just do it, because if you fail, it's fine. Like, failing in this game is not the end of the world. You can start another career. Every I don't know, every 8 or 12 hours you have enough TP for 3 runs, which is way more than enough. I think people need to be more okay with failing. So let's take a look at this. More, she doesn't have the stamina to run right now. I'll take partner running. So maybe this is a speed boost. Let's see. Let's try this one. That's not good. I did not expect the mood to go down. Wow. That was unfortunate. That was unexpected. Well, you know, if we lose the next race, we still have clocks. So I don't really want to do recreation. And this has 3 Umas. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that. We are trying to work on strength. Strength is power. The other option was we're trying to work on speed. It would have given me more speed. All right, we have C and everything, which is acceptable, I believe. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're lacking in power and guts, which is ironic because we do have pretty much like a power-heavy deck. But it is what it is. This is a mile, so I don't need Swinging Maestro right at this moment. I could get this green skill for power. Let's see over here. It's not firm. It is only good. So I'm a little worried about this race. And so I am going to take a skill. And if you are like a beginner, I would encourage you to take skills. Just like I'm doing here. I think what we're going to do here is the Triumphant Pulse. This is moderately increased ability to break out of the pack when positioned towards the front with 200 meters remaining. That's very likely what Vodka wants to do. Actually, I don't know. With 200 meters? This one might not be as good as I think. I probably need to pick this one, but I'm just going to pick this one to see. So, hopefully we're fine. Hopefully we're okay. But we're about to find out. Number 1 favorite. That's what you like to see. But we've been told that before. Alright, so here's the race. Hit this. Hit that. We are 9th and totally boxed in. This is not looking too good. Yeah, we are totally blocked. But it looks like we might be able to go through the inside. Okay. No, seems like she's fine. Okay. We're going to speed up. I don't think we're going to beat Mihono Bourbon. Oh? No. No. Wow, it's pretty close, though. We got pretty close to beating Mihono Bourbon. That's good. I just combined great and good into a word. I don't know why I can't talk when I record, but happens a lot. All right. Great. Hell yeah. Okay, so for this one, I don't know. We'll just take the top option. We have a race coming up very quickly, which is fine. Unfortunately, we never got to be friends with Aoi in this run, which is not very cool because her date would have been really nice in improving to mood. We have to finish in top 2. So this is looking a little rough. We'll hit 300 guts, so I'm not too worried about that. But I think we will hit power here and just kind of hope for the best. We need the stats and we have clocks. So extra training, I'll take it. I usually never take that option, but I'm at a point where I need as much help as I can get. So for sure, I'm going to take it. This is a soft track. It is raining. That is, I don't think cloudy counts, even though, I mean, it would be cloudy. I think we're just going to have to pick this. And yeah, hopefully we're okay with that. Predictions? It's not looking too great. We're actually even lacking in speed, but I guess we'll see. Number 1 favorite, but we have 2 triangles. That does not look good. All right. Okay. It is raining, so I'm actually not sure how that's going to change things too much, but it looks like we are totally boxed in. We're probably going to have to use the clock here. Yeah. That is bad. Uh-oh. We might be totally out of it. We're going to try again. Alright, we're good now. We're in a good mood. And if we have to retry again, we'll be in a great mood. So, this is a 2% increase to our attributes. Hopefully that's good enough. We'll see. Okay, it looks like we're boxed in again. Oh, it looks like she's breaking through. Actually, I think we might be pretty good here. Her skill's gonna activate right now. There you go. Okay. I think we got this. Yeah, I think we just got really unlucky. Wow. Okay. Hell yeah. Let's go. The problem with these late surgers is that they do get boxed in, especially if you don't build enough power. So let that be a lesson to make sure that you're building enough power. Maybe for this deck, it would have been better to have a third power card, or maybe not a stamina card. Who knows? But either way, I'm glad we were able to win. All right, we did it. The Yasuda Kinen. Honestly, I was a 50-50 on whether or not we'd be able to reach the URA finals, but I think we might be able to. The Tenno is definitely going to be the tough part of it. It is late June. It is late June, and I don't remember Tazuna reminding me, but she certainly did. Next turn is summer camp, which is definitely very important. That said, the summer camp is a chance for us to improve our mood while also racing, but even with going into summer camp with full energy, we will still race within it. So I think I could probably recreation now, get one mood, and then rest and get the other mood, and be able to train at least 2 good times before having to rest again or hit a wit training. So we'll hit recreation. Oh, that is totally not what I expected. Sometimes you do hit those double mood buffs, which is sort of fine. But over here, we do have a medium track. Tennosho is a medium track. So I think we are going to hit the stamina training here because look, 14 guts. I might as well hit stamina. I'm just trying to meet this imaginary minimum threshold of stamina and guts that I don't know the number of, but I'm going to do my best to clear it. I think we're going to hit wit training here. We don't want to waste our energy for our last turn in summer camp because you never know if we might hit a friendship training that we want to do. So 14 here, 13 here, we do this. All right. Training. And now things are looking pretty good. Again, we've just had like really bad luck, I think. I feel like I do need more power. I think our stamina is pretty good, honestly. And our guts is pretty good as well. I just need to hit more power. And right now we don't have rainbow training and power. So I'm just going to rest. And hopefully out of the next 2 trainings, we get friendship training and power. Good. We got 1. And we have this Super Creek. I do want more speed. I remember the mile track was saying we don't have enough speed. So let's hit speed. It's a really bad training. It's level 1 training, which is very sad. I think we probably should have actually done some speed training in that last summer camp, but it's a little too late for that now. So yeah, speed is not looking good. Our stamina and power is looking good, but not our speed. And our guts is like mediocre. Hopefully we're able to clear this run and make it to the URA. It'd be pretty cool to hit the URA on a totally fresh account with only SR cards and a borrowed SSR card. And also we had some pretty bad luck, but we will see. Let's see what we get. Good luck to me. Now let's start our race. We are number 2 favorite. That doesn't look very good. If we fail this, I might try and do pace running because there's less Umas here. I don't know if that actually does anything, but I'd like to think it does. So, but before that, we are going to go with our strongest strat because, and it is our strongest strat because we have skills that depend on us being a late surger. So we are going to go ahead and try that. And hopefully we just don't get boxed in. We do have good power, which is important to note, which means we have good acceleration and we should be able to unbox ourselves. Okay. No, it looks like we're totally climbing. Ooh, we got pushed back. Wait. No, nimble navigator. Okay. Oh, the skill. No, we got this. Oh my gosh. It's always hype to see a late surger win because they come from behind. Oh, so fun. All right. Hell yeah. Imagine we get a win with all SR cards and a borrowed SSR, which is totally free to play. This is totally like meant to relate to new players. This exact scenario. All right, we got all our goals complete. we've pretty much hit our goal of reaching URA. Now we just need to see if we could win more. I don't think we could win the entire finals. I think that would be quite the stretch, but we are going to go ahead and try. This event is a friend event, and Tazuna has an event like this too. It's basically like the start of you dating them. I don't know why they call it date, but I think you're just going on outings with them. Oh wait, no, we're going to karaoke with her. It's totally a date. Okay, we're gonna go pick the first option. It's probably not like so much of a romantic date, but who knows, who cares. All right, so now we have Kiryuin as a friend who we can take out on dates. The first event for her chain of events does give 2 mood, which we don't need, at least not at this point, not anymore. So we need speed, we need wit, so we're gonna hit speed, and hopefully that's fine. Usually I'd like to be above 600 speed at this point, which is not where we're at, but hey, we got 4 turns. It's not looking too bad. We're gonna just continue to hit speed because we are totally lacking in it, and especially if we are running mile tracks, I need to make sure we have enough speed. And if I do happen to see like any Umas hanging out in the guts training, I might do that if the speed is comparable. But I think we are going to hit the rest here. This is an event that usually levels up your signature skill, but it usually levels it up if you're doing well. We're not doing well, so we did not get that. Oh, we could hit the wit here. It's not what I want to do because we have so much energy. I'd rather just do this. But look at this energy reduction by the virtue of like having Aoi here. That energy reduction is pretty good. We're just going to go ahead and hit that. I'll do the extra training because we have 0% failure for the next one for sure. All right. Oh, why doesn't King Halo go there? She has no specialty priority. This is locked on level 30. That's why. Oh, well. Okay. Ooh. I think I'm going to go with this. Doesn't hurt to have guts right now. And you get 9 speed with some power. That's pretty good. All right. We are at the URA. This is the easiest race to clear in the URA. It's the first one. Let's take a look at the predictions. Okay. Not too bad. Interestingly enough, we don't have stamina and power. And we have plenty speed. That's interesting. I feel like we're just below the threshold for stamina and power. So we will make sure to train that after. But we have everything to lose here. So I'm going to go ahead and get Swinging Maestro. This is a gold stamina skill. And we are low on stamina apparently. So I am going to go ahead and pick this. And we're going to race. I probably should have done view results because I want to make this video a little faster. But we'll do that for the next one. Let's see how well we do. Looks like we are really boxed in. I don't see how we get through this. I think we're going to use a clock 100%, but we're going through the outside. We're changing lanes. I think we're... Oh? Wow. That is crazy. That was amazing. That was amazing. Holy, what a great performance there. Half a leg past the second place. That was not expected. I did not think we would break out of that box. But Vodka is performing. Hell yeah. All right. All right, so we're going to go to the semifinals. And that's exactly what we need. We're going to hit the powertrain and hope we don't hit the 4% failure rate. Okay. We're going to do this. Okay. Well, at least we got lucky there, but wow. That's really bad. If we don't fail here, we are pretty certain to fail the next one. It's a good track and it's sunny. That is not the skills that we have. We don't have any skill points. Nothing to do but to do it. So I'm going to hit view results for this one. It is very hype, but we are number 8 favorite. I don't think we're making it out of here. Let's see. 4th. Well, it never hurts to retry. We have 2 more times here. So let's try it again. Here we go. Nope. All right. Last try. Nope. I could have tried to change my strat and maybe that would have been better. But honestly, I feel like this was already kind of pushing it and I'm happy with my results personally. I think we should be able to get a C+ rated Uma. out of this, which is totally fine. And that's a run. That's a run that is perfectly relatable to any new player. You are able to max out 5 SR cards. You can borrow a friend's SSR card. And hopefully this gave you some tips on how to actually finish a run with some pretty good results. I thought it was pretty good results. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take the gold. Maybe in a different video, maybe on a stream later, we could try. But this was really fun, and hopefully you guys learned something from it. Nothing else to do here except to learn a skill. This is for our PvP mode. So we'll do the firm conditions, and we'll click complete career. It says career complete. We got a C+ rating, so that I think is totally fine, especially for your very first run on a 2-star Uma, or my very first run anyway, on a 2-star Uma. We got 2-star on a pink spark for late surger, which is alright, but everything else is not very good. That said, I totally completed my personal goal of reaching the URA finals. We even won, I think, 1 race, not 2. And that was way more than I expected. So, yeah, no, I'm happy with my performance. Not so cool record here for sure, but, you know, it's not always going to look very pretty, especially when you're playing a fresh account, or especially when you're starting out on the game. Actually, what we probably should do is do a little bit of a post-mortem. I do think that we made the right choices in terms of our cards. I like the cards that we picked, but Aoi Kiryuin didn't really pop up a lot, and so I don't think she's very useful. We could probably, next time that we do play, take her out. And what I kind of wanted was either another speed card or another power card to get more rainbow trainings on the trainings that I wanted. If you notice that our speed and our power training were very low level because we didn't have a lot of Umas that naturally were drawn to those trainings. So because our speed was so low, I would probably go with a speed Uma over a power one. And Narita Taishin is one of them. But of course, if I was actually playing this account, I would just level up Gold Ship and try again. Honestly, the thing that this account should do would be to put Gold City in. Super Creek is fine, but we could also try again. Always try and experiment, especially if you're failing. We could always try again, and yeah, this would be really nice. This Ogre cap with 3 limit break and level 40, that would be really nice. She gets power bonus and initial power, which is basically a better Hishi Amazon. So I'd probably go with something like this, and I think that would actually be pretty nice. Because if you notice, when you train power, training power increases your stamina. So having a stamina card, especially for someone like Vodka, who doesn't run long distance tracks, is a little redundant when your best stat that you train already gives you some stamina. So I think this deck would perform a lot better, a lot better. And all you have to do is just borrow from a strong friend. Just keep hitting this refresh button. If you really wanted to, you could hit the race button here, team trials. You can find another top tier player who has a better support card that you need, right? So those are the things that this account can do, and hopefully these tips, this sort of post-mortem, can also help you. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care, be safe, and like and sub. See you on the next one. Goodbye.